For the past 2 years, Talisman Energy has provided the 4 awards to Aboriginal students who are enrolled in full-time studies in any program at a Northern Lights college. But they had to work for it.
They had to write an essay that just said what it was that they hoped to do with their career and their goals with their education. And so that was the main criteria and how we evaluated the applications for that.
Jordy Acko is enrolled in the cook training program and was one of the recipients of the awards. He says that when he wrote his essay, he wrote it from the heart and tried to explain the best he could how the award would help propel his dreams of becoming an in-demand chef.
Because I wrote an essay saying what I wanted to do, and I really liked this course, and I guess it touched in some way.
Obviously the money is always helpful. All students can use more money, and I think it also just helps them know that they're on the right path, and just having that little boost, encouragement, you know, that we are supporting them and Talisman is interested in their careers. I think it just helps their whole motivation and their sense of who they are.
Brian Acko is also enrolled in the cook training program and also received one of the awards. He says that it has given him the reassurance that he is on the right track to accomplishing his goals.
I was surprised, and I can't describe the feeling. Put another notch on my career. I'm looking forward to finish this and looking forward to graduating. And once again, I say thanks.
We had 3 from the cook training program, Jordy Acko, Brian Acko, and Delane Gauthier. And then we had Cole Norris in Fort St. John. He's with Power Engineering. We're very fortunate at our foundation that we have a lot of wonderful donors, and usually any student in need at this college is able to get some kind of award or help from us. So we're very lucky that way.
An early Christmas present that came this year for 4 lucky students. Lindy Free, CJDC TV News, Dawson Creek. It doesn't look like much now, but in a few months, these drab white walls will be draped in artwork by a very well-known local artist.
It's a great space to paint in. Pretty nice canvases already laid out, and I think with the climbing wall, to have an outdoor scene involved with it, I think will work well.
Carl Matson is a local artist who, among many other projects, is known for his sculpture of the Mile Zero Post. Matson grew up in Rolla, but he considers Dawson Creek home as well. Today, his artistic talents are focused on painting this mural around the new climbing wall at the Ken Borick Aquatic Center. A feat that will take hundreds of hours to complete, but a feat that Matson says will be well worth it.
I hope people enjoy it, give back to the community, maybe make the space look a little better, I hope.
Matson says that there is a considerable amount of planning that needs to go into such a large-scale project.
Kind of map it out in my head a bit on paper, like I got some photographs I took. For the tree size, I projected my own photograph just to get the size, and then I just freehand from there. Most of it will just be freehand as I go, and going up and down the scaffolding a lot, making sure I have the perspective correct.
Matson proposed the idea to City Council back in November and was very pleased to get the final okay. He says the mural is significant because, similar to the Mile Zero Post, this piece of artwork will be known throughout the city far into the future.
I am getting, paid for this job, but it isn't about the profit, because if you counted the hours, it's not all that profitable. But, it's enjoyable, and I hope people can enjoy it for years to come.
Lindy Free, CJDC TV News, Dawson Creek. 'Tis the season to pay extra attention when sending packages through the mail. Due to high volumes of mail being processed throughout the holiday season, Canada Post is reminding Canadians of a few simple steps that they can take to protect their packages.
During the Christmas season, our security of the mail and what have you becomes a very big concern for Canada Post. We want to make sure that all our packages get delivered on time and what have you. We do find that there is an increase in mail theft and fraudulent people trying to do identity theft. at this time of the year by breaking into our compartments and what have you, and we're trying to alleviate that with our customers.
Peterson offers these tips for anyone wishing to send their package safely.
Ensure that they clear their mailboxes daily. If they're going away for any period of time, make sure they've got a customer or their neighbor looking after their place, or they put a hold for their mail service to be held during the time that they're gone, and then when they return, we'll resume delivery to their addresses. Make sure that if they've got somebody looking after their places, that the mailboxes is cleared on a regular basis, as well as their driveways and walkways are shoveled so that it looks like somebody is actually living there.
If for some chance an expected package does not arrive, Peterson says that there are procedures in place.
If something does happen and they do lose a package, or they feel that a package has been stolen, the sender has the insurance option when they do the mailing, and they have to process a claim from that end of it. So based on how they've mailed it, there is insurance purposes for it.
Even though insurance is offered on all Canada Post mailings, Peterson warns the public to never send cash through the post for any reason.
If they're sending money, we do have options available. Please do not send cash. We do have our prepaid visas that you can now send.
Aside from that, Peterson assures the public that Canada Post is still a very safe and effective method of delivering your mail.
For Canada Post, we would love nothing better to wish everyone a safe and happy and Merry Christmas and a great New Year.
Lindy Fries, CJDC TV News, Dawson Creek. It is no coincidence that National Driving Week takes place this time of year, as road conditions are usually wet and slippery. Clayton LaRue witnesses driving mistakes on a daily basis as a driving examiner for ICBC and agrees that this is a great time of year to prepare drivers for the conditions.
If you know you're needing to stop ahead, obviously you should start braking a little bit sooner just in case the intersection is a little more slippery or leading into the intersection. As quick as you think your reactions are, there's always that reaction time till your foot gets on the brake and it actually gets applied and you can get the vehicle to stop, right, in these conditions. So.
LaRue adds that pre-vehicle inspections are just as important before heading out on the holidays.
Checking the tires, even the air pressure in your tires, if one is lower than the others or whatnot, it can certainly affect your traction and whatnot. So, and then of course just the general stuff, checking fluids and belts and all that kind of stuff too, right? So, and making sure you have an emergency kit would be a huge thing as well.
LaRue says it is important to remember the 3-second rule when driving behind other vehicles.
3 seconds is definitely, it kind of think of it as a minimum, especially out on the highway from a landmark. You know, in dry conditions, 2 seconds is usually sufficient, and then winter conditions, 3 seconds is a minimum. So, yeah.
And of course, always watch for black ice and slow down when approaching shaded areas such as bridges and overpasses, because these surfaces tend to freeze sooner than others. It is also a good idea to not use cruise control on highways, as the function has proven to be hazardous on icy roads.
I'm sure there would be a higher statistic rate for accidents this time of year, coming into the winter season, obviously, right? So,
some other things to keep in mind when on the road: you might want to try and avoid driving in stormy weather. You should use caution when approaching maintenance vehicles, and if you do get stuck in the snow, stay put in your vehicle to stay warm and don't panic. Lindy Fries, CJDC TV News, Dawson Creek.